A career criminal is back behind bars tonight. He's accused of stealing a trailer from this Cape Coral gas station. Patrick, I feel like every time you check in with me, the crowd almost doubles in size. There's about 500 people out here right now at Lashley Park. People have been stopping us, asking questions, taking pictures of the sketches that we have. They want to know what these two men look like, so I want to show you those sketches one more time. The people you're seeing at the back, that's not the end of the group. They are continuing to wrap around the street. Both parents ended up getting dragged because they were literally clinging on to the side of the car to try to get their baby out of the back seat. Governor DeSantis, do you have any reaction to the quarantine measures that have been put in place by other states? According to this affidavit from the FBI, a Punta Gorda man threatened to shoot up a church in Memphis, Tennessee, and the attack was supposed to happen this Thursday. You can see this line here that basically deputies have said this far but no further. The protest has really kind of stopped here at this intersection. We literally watched the woman be informed that I believe it's her brother was shot in the hospital, and she's not entirely sure how he's doing. This is what the mother of the teen that died, Christine Gray, wants to see out here. There are pages and pages of Cape Coral properties listed in that class action lawsuit. Fort Myers PD actually asked us to move because they had guns drawn at the time, and they were concerned that people out here would be in the line of fire. They weren't entirely sure what was going to happen at this scene. John tells me that replacing thousands of pounds of seawall for his crew, not a problem. Navigating Cape Coral's tiny canals with these giant barges, also not a problem. Bear with me as I try to walk and talk backwards. The group is now marching to the city hall here in Punta Gorda. You know, Shari, we're all guilty of this, right? We're walking around with our faces buried in our phones, but Cape Coral police tell us that they're seeing entirely too many students doing this while crossing busy streets.
On today, April 13th, 2020, we were asked to leave the Fort Myers Regional Library.
That's just the beginning of a 3-page complaint against Fort Myers PD.
We have nowhere to go. We were asked to go to the woods.
It was filed by this man on behalf of the many people struggling with homelessness who have called the courtyard around the downtown Fort Myers Library home.
What's your name, sir?
Cell phone video shows FMPD officers at the scene earlier today. A spokesperson for the department says though they are sympathetic, the department was within its right to carry out a no trespass order on the property since one has been in place there for the last 5 years.
There's a pandemic going on. What are we supposed to do?
It's a question haunting those living on the streets since shelters are full and public parks are closed.
We occupied the Fort Myers Library because we had nowhere else to go. We've been to every park and we've been kicked out of every park.
I understand how they feel. I empathize with them.
A Fort Myers city councilman says this is an issue that the city could have solved years ago. He says there are far too many vacant buildings in the city for there to be people sleeping out on the streets.
I think we have to improvise and use temporary places or get them cleaned up, just enough to house people overnight. To get a decent meal, to get a shower, and perhaps be tested.
In the meantime, the 20-plus people evicted from the library say they don't know where they'll sleep tonight.
Lee County does not have a solution for homelessness. Their solution is go to the woods. What woods?
In Fort Myers, Rochelle Aline, Fox 4, in your corner. Tonight, you're going to hear from one of those employees who wanted to remain anonymous. That person actually asked me to disguise their voice for fear of retaliation. That person tells me that some employees who were possibly exposed weren't properly notified. It started with an anonymous tip, and then a couple of taps of the keyboard to confirm a recent case of COVID-19 among employees at Sunsplash Park in Cape Coral. The city says that person has been sent home and that the park and common staff areas have been cleaned. They also add that staff was told the next morning because the notice about that COVID-19 case came after the park was closed. But that first tipster and 2 others via email are telling a different story.
I was just so flustered. I knew I had come in contact with the girl that same day and that week.
They tell me that staff could have been warned the same night via an employee messaging system. They also say when staff was told the next day, not everyone who may have been exposed was there.
they didn't address it anymore than that, just to whoever was scheduled that day. People that weren't scheduled that day either found out because a friend told them or just didn't find out at all.
That employee says several people still haven't been told, and others are worried they may have exposed family members.
And it's just frustrating because a lot of us have families that could possibly be immunocompromised.
They also tell me that they feel one manager in particular hasn't been taking things as seriously because of his views on COVID-19.
2 weeks ago, he had said that he doesn't believe in the virus.
Now they're calling for a deep clean of the park, for everyone possibly exposed to be notified, and for an investigation into management.
No one can really make these decisions except them.
A spokesperson for the city tells me that they were not aware of these concerns. She also tells me that she's passed those concerns on to the city's director of parks and recreation. In Cape Coral, Rochelle Aline, Fox 4, in your corner.